Before you hear anything else, let this land gently but firmly in your spirit. This isn't just another video to scroll past. It's a holy interruption, like a window opening between what you can see and what you can't, a moment where heaven leans close and whispers, "This is for you." If you've felt lately like the air around you is different, like the atmosphere itself has been turning a page, you're not imagining it. The veil between confusion and clarity is thinning, and a fresh light is breaking through places you thought were permanently dim. You did not arrive here by accident. You were invited. There are seasons when silence gets heavier right before something breaks open, and you've noticed it. The quiet that's almost loud, the resistance that's strangely intensified when you decided to press in. You wondered if you were being punished for daring to hope. But you weren't being punished, you were being prepared. Doors that didn't budge weren't mocking you, they were protecting you from rooms that couldn't yet carry your calling. What looked like rejection was a reroute. What felt like delay was a hidden delivery in progress. If you could see what has been working for you behind the scenes, you would exhale the breath you didn't even realize you were holding. The pressure wasn't proof that you were abandoned, it was proof that you were important. And in the middle of that pressure, the one who knows the end from the beginning never took his eyes off you. Every whisper against your peace has met a louder word of protection. Every arrow launched at your confidence, your provision, your rest, it never reached its mark. You are more covered than you know. You felt surrounded, and you were. But not just by worry or by the opinions of people who couldn't read your heart. You were surrounded by help. Think of it as a ring of quiet strength you didn't see yet, somehow sensed. That's why you made it through nights that should have broken you and mornings that shouldn't have started with hope, but somehow did. You didn't endure because you're superhuman. You endured because grace stood up on your behalf when you had no words left. Let's name something gently, the shift in relationships you couldn't explain. People who once felt close began to drift. Conversations lost warmth. Invitations faded. You replayed moments, wondering what you said wrong, what you missed, what you could fix. But listen closely. Some departures are not failures. They are confirmations. Not everyone who claps for your growth plans to travel with you as you grow. Some attachments loosen because your future requires room to breathe. When pruning happens, it's not an indictment of the branch. It's a promise to the fruit. There were rooms where your name was mentioned in ways that didn't match your true character, and you never got the chance to defend yourself. You didn't need to. Your fruit will answer in time. Your peace will testify. Your steadiness will speak louder than rumors ever could. What is built on sincerity can survive misinterpretation, and what is sustained by integrity can outlast gossip. You don't have to convince the wrong audience. The right audience, those aligned to your assignment, will recognize you when you arrive without you having to prove a thing. Right now, there is a quiet realignment unfolding. Some of it you'll notice as emails arriving at just the right hour, calls you weren't expecting. A yes that shows up where you were certain a no had been engraved in stone. Some of it you won't notice until later, when you look back and realize that the timing was too precise to be random. Answers are not trickling. They are forming like rain in a heavy cloud, and the first drops are already touching your life. Not everything will arrive overnight, but don't be surprised by what comes quickly. It's not luck, it's alignment. There's something else you felt, that little tug between rest and urgency, between be still and step forward. Both are true. Be still on the inside, unshaken by noise, unmoved by comparison, and step forward on the outside. Answer the email, apply for the thing you've been circling, return to the page, the canvas, the business plan you tucked away because discouragement said it wasn't your time. Move like someone who believes their steps are guided. You don't need all the lights to be green to leave the driveway. You only need enough light for the next turn. You worried that the delay meant you were disqualified, that your missteps had cost you the chance, that what you lost was gone for good. Breathe. Nothing meant for your growth evaporates when you surrender it to wisdom. What was withheld is returning as something better suited to who you're becoming. You're not the same as you were, and your future is grateful for that. The version of you being shaped right now can carry things the old version couldn't lift. There are places in your story that still ache. The holy work now is not pretending those places don't exist. It's giving those places oxygen and truth. Healing doesn't rush. It deepens. It moves at the speed of honesty, not the speed of public timelines. Your pace is not late. Your healing is not behind schedule. You're allowed to grow roots in private so your branches can carry weight in public. Give yourself permission to be in progress without shame. The world claps for outcomes. Heaven smiles at endurance. And to the part of you that feels tired from carrying the invisible, lift your head. Fresh strength is arriving, subtle at first like a change in light through a window, and then steadier, like morning becoming day. You'll notice you're not negotiating with old fear as often. You'll notice you're not replaying that conversation as much. You'll notice your words become kinder to yourself. That's not accidental. That's restoration beginning within before it shows up around you. This is also a season of holy boundaries. Not walls built out of bitterness, but gates made out of wisdom. You can bless people and choose where they sit in your life. You can forgive and still be discerning. You can wish someone well and still protect what you're building. Your future doesn't require villainizing anyone. It simply requires you to honor your peace. When your peace is guarded, your creativity breathes, your spirit hears more clearly, and your decisions start to align with who you truly are rather than who pressure says you should be. Provision is changing shape too. For some, it will look like opportunities you tried before that now open easily because you are stronger, softer, clearer. For others, it will be fresh ideas that feel so simple you'll wonder how you didn't see them sooner. For still others, it will be partnerships that make you better, not busier. People who show up not to take the pen from your hand, but to help you write the chapter. Keep your hands open. What is landing belongs in open hands. In the story you've lived, there were moments that felt like dead ends. But later, they turned out to be turns. A letter you thought would define you forever didn't. A loss you thought would drain your hope didn't. A delay you were sure would end your momentum didn't. You're still here. Not the same, and thank God for that. But here, wiser, deeper, more compassionate than you were when this started. You learned to listen for quiet answers. You learned the difference between noise and voice. You learned that dignity is a strategy. Now, something beautiful is approaching. A reintroduction. Not to prove anything to anyone, but to show gently and unmistakably that transformation is real. You won't have to announce it. The peace around you will make it obvious. The steadiness in your choices will make it undeniable. Your life will sound like a song that found its key. And when those who misspoke about you see it, you won't need to gloat. You'll simply keep walking, because humility travels farther than pride ever could. Release is a practice now. Release the urge to rehearse what hurt you. Release the habit of shrinking so others feel comfortable. Release the storyline that says love equals self-erasure. Release the need to explain your calling to people committed to misunderstanding it. Release the right to the last word. None of those are your assignment. Your assignment is to live aligned, to think like someone who is led, to speak like someone who is loved, to move like someone whose steps matter. If you've been wondering how to prepare for what's unfolding, start small and practical. Bring order to the space you can touch. Clear what you don't need from the room where you create. Tidy the folder where your ideas live. Put dates on the calendar that match your values, not your fears. Make the phone call you keep postponing because you're afraid of hearing yes. Create a daily rhythm where you can be quiet long enough to recognize your own clarity when it comes. This isn't about striving. It's about stewardship, treating what you already have as if it's worthy of care, because it is. There is an old pattern that kept tugging at you, asking you to argue for your limitations. It's losing its power. There is an old voice that kept suggesting you'd always be behind. It's fading. In its place, a new sentence is growing. I am allowed to be new. You are not defined by the moment you fell. You are shaped by the decision you made to stand again. Someone needs to hear this right now. You didn't miss your chance. You're right on time for who you're becoming. Even the way you measure success is changing. It's less about applause and more about alignment, less about speed and more about depth, less about proving and more about planting. The deeper you plant in authenticity, the more stable your growth becomes. Tall without roots is fragile. Quiet with roots is unstoppable. Choose roots. There will be people who don't understand your new boundaries, your new pace, your new peace. Love them anyway and keep going. You are not required to carry an old version of yourself to keep anyone comfortable. Compassion and clarity are not enemies. You can be gentle and immovable at the same time. You can be kind and still say no when no is holy. If tears rise while you listen, that's okay. Tears are not weakness, they are release. They rinse the dust off the road you've traveled so you can see the next mile clearly. Let them fall if they come. Then breathe. You are safe to keep going. Not perfect, not finished, not always certain, but safe. The same presence that carried you through your hardest days is not leaving now that the horizon is brightening. Guidance does not disappear when the clouds clear. It grows even more precise. Some practical confirmations will meet you soon. A document that stalled will move. A conversation that felt impossible will soften. A creative idea will land in the middle of an ordinary task and make you smile because it answers a question you stopped asking out loud. None of this requires striving. It requires awareness. Stay awake to small kindnesses. They are breadcrumbs leading you forward. And for the places where weariness still lingers, let this be your permission to rest. Rest is not the absence of progress. It's the protection of it. Rest keeps your yes valuable. Rest lets you hear the difference between impulse and instruction. Rest makes you less reactive and more responsive. You're allowed to pause without apologizing. You're allowed to be quiet without guilt. You're allowed to do one thing well rather than many things poorly just to keep up with a timeline that doesn't belong to you. There is courage in you that hasn't had a chance to speak yet. Give it the mic. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, "Try again," and that's enough to start a new chapter. Walk toward the next right thing with your shoulders relaxed. If fear starts narrating, thank it for trying to keep you safe and let it ride in the back seat. It doesn't get to drive anymore. To the part of you that fears being seen, remember, you're not stepping into visibility to prove your worth. You're stepping into purpose to share what you've been given. Your light does not diminish anyone else. Shine is not a zero-sum game. When you shine with humility, others remember they can shine too. Your yes becomes a lantern. You may notice a growing desire to forgive more quickly. That's not naivety. That's maturity. Forgiveness doesn't make what happened okay. It makes you free. It does not always rebuild trust, and it doesn't require you to forget wisdom. It simply releases you from carrying someone else's choices as your burden. You don't need bitterness to be strong. You don't need revenge to be validated. Your future is too important to leave space in your heart to old battles. As this word settles, I want you to imagine your life like a house with open windows. Fresh air is moving through. Dust is lifting from corners you forgot were there. You're rearranging furniture so that light can reach places it never reached before. You're choosing colors that match who you are becoming, not who you had to be to survive. It's the same house, but it's new. And when you step into that space each morning, you'll feel it. Peace has taken up residence where panic used to pace. This is not the end of your struggle forever. Life still brings waves, but you are stepping into a stretch of shoreline where the waves don't knock you over as easily. You've learned how to bend without breaking, how to breathe through the swell and rise on the other side. That's resilience, that's wisdom, that's grace, quietly doing what grace does, lifting what you thought you had to carry alone. So here's how you'll move from this moment, like someone already delivered. Not pretending the battle never happened, but refusing to live as if you're still trapped inside it. You'll organize your calendar as if meaningful appointments are on the way. You'll budget as if provision has a plan. You'll speak about yourself with dignity. You'll take care of what you can take care of and trust that what you can't is being handled with a wisdom larger than yours. That is not denial. That is faith with shoes on. You won't need to argue with critics or chase what tries to run from you. You will simply continue. Your consistency will be your signature. Your gentleness will be your strength. Your yes will be intentional. Your number will be kind. Your steps will be ordered not by anxiety but by alignment. And in the quiet of your own heart, you'll know something has turned. The page has flipped. The chapter has begun. If you feel ready, even with trembling hands, whisper it to yourself right now. I choose peace. I choose clarity. I choose alignment. I choose to be new. Those aren't just pretty words. They are doors. Walk through them. Take a breath with me. Let your shoulders drop. Release your jaw. Unclench your hands. You're safe in this moment. Let gratitude rise for the small signs of mercy that carried you here. Let hope stand up again. Not noisy, not dramatic, just steady. Hope that knows who holds the pen. As we close, I want to speak a blessing over you. Simple, human, sincere. May your mind be clear and your heart be light. May your steps be guided and your work be fruitful. May your boundaries be respected and your compassion remain soft. May resources meet you without strain, and may wisdom lead you gently. May the right doors open and the wrong ones close without confusion. May you remember that you are not your worst day. You are not your loudest mistake. You are not the story someone else told about you. You are becoming, and that becoming is beautiful. If this resonated, carry it with you today. Not as a hype moment that fades when the video ends, but as a quiet reminder you can return to whenever the noise returns. You don't have to force what grace has already set in motion. Keep your heart clean, your hands open, and your eyes up. What is yours by alignment will not miss you. What is not yours by wisdom will pass you by. Both are gifts. You are covered. You are rising. You are ready. And now, breathe once more. Let the room around you feel a little wider. Let the future feel a little kinder. Step forward like someone whose story is still being written in love. Amen.